Hey everybody, Kelly Engineering here, and welcome to episode 43 of Project Ozone 3. I got 3 episodes left of this, and I really want to get to it, but in between episodes, what I did was, I'm trying to get more Insanium Essence, so we may as well just go to the Void. Alright, here we are in the Void, and this is one of the things I did. So I have Inferium Essence, Tier 6 Inferium Essence, going into this ender chest right here and just trying to make Insanium as quick as I can. Mainly because, going back home, I need a lot of creative essence because I want to make a lot of creative tanks. And I got most of the stuff here ready for the creative tanks, except for, I forget which, the ultimate tanks. Because tanks don't stack. It's just terrible. But so I need more creative essence, which is why I need the Insanium. I also need the creative essence for making the Chaos planks, which is today's goal. I hooked up the Infinity Catalyst, so I have 2 stacks plus 10, and honestly, that's more than enough. I don't need that many Infinity Catalysts for all that stuff. The main thing that I was worried about is all of my Chaos stuff. I went to the end, got more Chaos Shards, and I'm just waiting. What am I missing? Okay, I'm not missing anything. Good. I'm just waiting for all of the Chaos Shards to become Chaotic Cores because I need a total of 11 stacks to make 11 stacks of Chaotic Cores in order to make 1 stack of Chaos Ingots. So, yeah, that's just a lot of Chaotic Cores. So that's what I'm waiting on right now. Also, another thing I did in preparation is I started making Infinity Dust, a lot of it, also for those Chaos Ingots. So I got that going for me. It was just a lot of prep work in between episodes, including making a total of 36 pedestals from extended crafting, because we're going to be doing some extended crafting in this episode. Alright, here we go. So I have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11... Chaotic Cores, and just got to put them over here. I got done making my creative tanks, so just to free up space in this ultimate crafting table. But after I have my Chaotic Cores, all I need to do is put the, what's that stuff called? That Ender Dust. Of course I can't remember its name right now. Infinity Dust? Yeah. So I'm just going to take a bunch of this and put it all over. So in order to actually make all of the Chaos planks necessary, in order to complete the pack, I guess, you need 3 and some odd stacks. I think it's like 3.5. Well, I got 1 stack, which is going to be enough to make me 1 Chaos plank. Yay. But at the very least, I have Chaos Ingots. And I have completed that. In order to make that many Chaos Ingots, in order to make 11 more stacks, or I guess 22, in order to make 30 more stacks of Chaos Ingots, I'm going to need a lot of Chaos Shards, so killing over 100 Chaos Dragons is not the way to go. So, the next thing that we're going to be doing is we're going to create the Magica Converter, because the Magica Converter will allow us to make liquid Chaos. And the liquid Chaos, can go into a crystallizer, become large Chaos fragments, and become Chaos Shards. So now that I have more than enough creative tanks, I can just make a little bit of that liquid Chaos. I don't have to have this thing running very long, and have dang near infinite Chaos Shards. So let's get into that. So I'm just gonna start. start making this. No problem. And I'm also going to do something I don't think I've never done on the show before, and that's a little real talk. Making this was not actually my idea. It was Hoon, who's part of the Discord. Very active member, very nice member. He has his, he streams every now and then a number of different games, and he's quite good at it. But he's the one who gave me the idea for this. And I wasn't even aware that the liquid crystal could be used for anything. So, yeah, that's entirely his idea, and I thank him for it. But it's one of the things I absolutely love about having a Discord is the swapping of ideas. Oh, I messed up there with the machine vent. But the swapping of ideas is always amazing. And yeah, it's just one of the good things about having a Discord. When anybody who watched my channel for a while knows that have dang near an obsession with learning new things. And I've been like that for most of my life. But it wasn't always as, I guess, refined isn't the right word, but I'm sure you can see where I'm going with that. But I used to be it wasn't just an obsession with learning, it was also an obsession with being right. And to my own detriment most of the time. And when I first started living on my own, when I first got this job that I'm part of right now, 18, 19, 20, 21, I was just full of anger because I wanted to learn so much, and I was burning the candle at both ends, trying to learn as much as possible while simultaneously trying to be as correct as possible. Now realizing that it was destroying me. So it took me a while to figure out what exactly was wrong. It took quite a bit of introspection on my part. I was 23. I was just in a depressive slump because I couldn't get my anger under control. And like I said, it was destroying me. I was suffering at work. I couldn't focus on anything because I was just so angry that there was so much to learn and there were so many people who were wrong, for lack of a better term. They were just wrong all the time. And from that little depressive episode, and I guess I just came to terms with the fact that I can't be right all the time. And I started redirecting my efforts for learning as much as possible to also teaching as much as possible. And I also gained a respect for being wrong. And that's why whenever somebody does say, "You're wrong," I love it. I actually relish the chance. My obsession with being right has now turned into an obsession with being wrong. And it just sounds so weird to say out loud, but that's exactly what it is. I now love being told that I'm wrong because it's giving me an opportunity to learn. And yeah, I'm not really sure where else to go with that. So now that I'm at the position that I am at work, I am a supervisor for one of my divisions. And I don't outright say it, but I try to let people be wrong as much as possible. Because, honestly, people deserve to be wrong. Every now and then, they deserve to fail. And I don't want people to be afraid of failing. And, because, like I said, one of my obsessions was being right. Because if I was wrong, then in some roundabout way I had convinced myself that I had failed. And failure was never really an option for me. So now that I'm in the supervisory position that I'm in, I let people make those mistakes, and as their supervisor, I try to make sure that I'm there as they make the mistake, telling them that the mistake is fine. There's nothing wrong with making the mistakes or being wrong, because at the end of the day, you learn something. And learning is the most important thing in our line of work, because if you don't learn the lesson, then the next time it happens, someone could get killed. So, yeah. And this is by no means something that I've been doing for years. This is something I recently learned, like within 4 or 5 years. Before I got my, just full disclosure, I skirt around it quite often because I don't like people really knowing, but I'm part of the Navy. I am a member of the U.S. Navy. I'm an E6. And on the first boat that I was attached to, I won't say what boat it was, but on the first boat that I was attached to, I was just angry all the time. It was insufferable to my peers, I'm sure. Well, when I say I'm sure, I know. I was absolutely insufferable to my peers because I was angry all the time. People weren't living up to... I was imposing the standards I held for myself onto other people, which is not a healthy way to lead or follow in any industry. And I left my first boat without having learned that lesson. And when I got to my second boat, it was a lesson that just clicked with me. Like I said, I was just incredibly stressed out, burning the candle at both ends, trying to... I was letting my well-being go, trying to solve a problem I created for myself. And it was no way to live. And luckily, as I was leaving my second boat, probably about a year and a half before I left my first boat, I was put in a true leadership position. And once I got into that leadership position, I've described it in the past as puzzle pieces. I had most of the puzzle laid out on the floor, and there's just something about being put in a leadership position on my second boat that it all clicked, that if I was going to be an effective leader to these young, impressionable people who joined the Navy not really knowing what they were getting into, I needed to stop beating myself up for what I didn't know, stop beating other people up for what they didn't know, and start fostering more learning environments rather than hostile environments. I have no idea how much of this is making sense, and I haven't even looked over all the footage, and I hope I am making a little bit of sense. It feels like I'm rambling. But yeah, there's just something about what Hoon said in the Discord that it all came flooding back. That the person I used to be and the person I'm not anymore. Yeah, just all those feelings started coming back, so I wanted to do a little real talk segment about it. Once I realized that my obsession with being right, my obsession with being first, was indeed a problem, I found myself regretting that I hadn't discovered these problems sooner. I mean, like I said, I was 24, 25 when I first discovered this about myself, and then very quickly realized that it's the wrong... regretting something like that is not worth the time, if that makes any sense. When you're young, you're allowed to make mistakes. Heck, in this reporter's humble opinion, it's part of being young. Part of being young is being wrong. And as I'm about to turn 30, I can say with confidence that there is nothing wrong with being wrong. And these weren't revelations that I came to by myself. I had the support of my friends and family who put a lot of these things into perspective for me, and that's another thing I hold in very high regard, is perspective. There we go, liquid chaos, excellent. But nobody can improve on their own. Some people feel depressed and feel like they are alone, and I've had numerous conversations with numerous people who may know it in their hearts, but never really vocalize it. But you do have support, and to find out the things that are making you conflicted or making you depressed or making you angry, you can't figure that shit out on your own. You can't. Find somebody to help. They exist, whether you're in the state of mind to accept that or not. I can't say. But help exists in numerous forms. And yeah, I certainly wouldn't be the person I am today without the help of... Did it really go through all of that already? Wow. I certainly wouldn't be the person I am today without the help of some very special friends or family. If I ever meet... I always typed friends in there. If I ever meet some of the people from my first boat that I undoubtedly ticked off because of my attitude when I was younger, I truly do hope that they can look past the person I was and see the person I am now. I truly do hope that. And the game just crashed, so real talk over, I guess. Alright, that was a really weird crash, but well, I'm back. It's a new session. I just looked over the error report and yeah, it was nothing. Just a random crash. But I do have a creative tank filled with liquid chaos. It's going into a crystallizer. I'm actually going to add another crystallizer because this is remarkably slow, even with 64 speed upgrades and energy upgrades in there. It's being fed from a draconic solar panel and going right to this factorizer. Factorizer's making the Chaos Shards, pushing it to this ender chest, which is a black-white-black. And over here, at the chaotic core maker, I replaced the pink cyan ender chest with another black one, black-white-black, just so the Chaos Shards and the chaotic cores are all in one ender chest. So yeah, I have that taken care of. Before I continue doing anything, I have the Longbow of the Heavens made right now, and I've also made Enhancement Crystals. So the Enhancement Crystals I've already applied to the Sword of the Cosmos. I've made a total of 8 of them. Applied them to my armor, and applied them to the sword. Last 3 are going on the World Breaker, Nature's Ruin, and Longbow of the Heavens. Now, this is actually quite useless, and if you look at the mod options for Avaridia tweaks, you'll see why. So the Infinity Armor... There are no potion effects going to any of the Infinity stuff except for Night Vision, which is by default part of the mod on the helmet. And with the tools, Looting 10 is on the sword. This is also a default of the mod, but no other enchantments or potion effects are on anything. So making 8 of the enhancement crystals was honestly a waste of time. But I made them anyway just to say that I could complete that quest, and yeah, now that quest is completed. So yeah, Enhancement Crystal, Fortune X, yeah, there's no difference other than the metadata of this has actually changed. Let's turn on F3H, and yeah, it is now Everdy Infinity Pickaxe with 2 NBT tags on it. So one of them is the fact that it has the Enhancement Crystal. So yeah, it's a waste of resources, but whatever. I have plenty of Infinity Catalysts now. And yeah, that is done. I also have 64 creative modifiers lined up. And what the creative modifiers do, go over here, put in... And I can just continuously add modify... I just messed up. Well, I have 67 modifiers on this Cobalt pickaxe. Good for me. I wanted to half and half it between the axe and the pickaxe, but whatever. It's not like the creative modifiers are hard to complete. But yeah, those 2 quests are now complete. Let's go over here. Yeah. Oh, I also made the Skullfire sword, but whatever, it's a simple recipe, so I'm not really worried about it. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to go about making all of the creative stuff, because we're going to need them in order to make the Chaos Plank. Now, the Chaos Plank recipe is, honestly, it's tough to look at first. There's a lot going on. But the first thing I'm going to make is the Infinite Energy. I've already made the Magneticraft Infinite Energy before, but now I'm making 8 more of them. Mainly because, I'm making 8 Chaos Planks when all is said and done. So yeah, here's my 8 Infinite Energy, and this is the chest that I'm going to store everything, before I actually get around to making the ingot itself. One of the things that I have set up a little bit... Oh, hang on, may as well grab this. I have a pink slime bucket right here that I made ages ago. But now that I have more than enough creative tanks, I'm going to throw the pink slime in here, and this is a fluid sieving machine. So once it has power, once it has pink slime, all I have to do is put an iron ingot in here, and it's going to make me crystalline ingots. And the crystalline ingots are going to be for the... let's pull up the recipe. For these crystalline pink slime grinding balls. So yeah, it's... make the pink slime ingots using the fluid sieve, and then the grains of piezoality will make the crystalline pink slime ingots. 5 of those will make me 24 pink slime grinding balls. So I'm not actually going to do all of that in camera since I just explained it, but I am going to hook up the fluid sieving machine, and I am going to... actually, how do I make the... I know it has an EMC value, but how do I actually make the piezoality? Where are you, my friend? So yeah, pulsating crystals, which is whatever, that's simple to make. I may as well just use EMC for this because it's just pulsating iron nuggets and diamonds. The next thing we're making is another thing that I've already made before, the creative energy cell for applied energistics, and that is like 5 stacks of infinity ingots, half a stack of vibration chambers. All of this stuff is very easy to come by at this point in the game, so bam, 8 creative energy cells. Add those to the pile. What's the next thing that I want to create? The next thing I'm creating is the creative compressor, another machine I've already made for Pneumaticraft. However, I am making a heck of a lot more than I did before, so I need a total of 4 stacks of black plastic. So I'm here at the plastic mixer, lock selection, and hit the black plastic button. And 4. Alright, 4. So I have my 4 stacks of black plastic, and what else do we need? I said bad at all. So I've got everything I need for the compressor, with the exception of 1 stack of infinity, and... Oh, okay, so the air canisters don't stack, but that's whatever. Oh, wow, that sucks. There we go, a little bit of manual placement, and everything is now set, so we can make our 8 creative compressors. Boom. Alright. Now I have already added the creative essence that I'm going to need later on, and the 8 creative fluid tanks, and we're ready to move on to the next part. The next thing I'm creating is the creative mill. So I have 8 creative mills, and actually making those was quite difficult, really, because let's see, let's look at the... So I needed to make 32 water mills, lava mills, wind mills, fire mills, 8 dragon egg mills, and 8 manual mills. There's a lot of stone burn. So over here in my resonator, you'll see that I have speed upgrades magical, which is just 1 step up from the standard speed upgrades. It was going far too slow. So I have quite a bit of stone burnt now. The way that I made these speed upgrade magicals was I needed to make magical apples and enchanted ingots. The magical apples they're kind of easy. You just need some magical wood and surround it with apples. The magical wood was difficult because of the amount of experience. If you look down, you see that I have 137 levels. That was actually, I've had to fill it up quite a bit. So I put some experience in a creative fluid tank and just hooked this up. So, I don't have my pickaxe. But yeah, I have conduits flowing from the XP drain, which is whatever, drains my XP, and this XP tap attached to a singularity tank, just so I could fill up my XP a little bit easier. I also have solidified XP, like, more than enough in my ME system. I also have this Enchanter right here. The Enchanter is how I made the blocks of enchanted metal, and you'll see I have more speed upgrades in here. So with the blocks of enchanted metal, all I need to do is just break it down into the enchanted ingots, throw it in a crafting table with standard speed upgrades, and bam, you get the magical speed upgrades. It takes quite a bit of grid power in order to work, but that's what I have this dragon egg mill for. So this is going to give me 500 grid power. But with the help of the dragon egg mill and those magical speed upgrades, making the stone burnt was no problem, and making all of the mills necessary for these creative mills, also no problem. Next thing we're going to go over are the infinite mana pools. So what I need to do is I need to make 8, and I may as well just throw this in here. I need to make 8 fabulous mana pools. That's actually the next to last thing I need. All I need to do is just make some, just grab some infinity. That's no problem at all. So what I had to do is I had to make this Rod of the Bifrost. And the Rod of the Bifrost is super easy to make. Rod of the Bifrost. It's just Dragonstone, Pixie Dust, and Elementium ingots. No problem at all. When you have this Rod of the Bifrost, you combine it with Alf Glass. You get Bifrost block. And then you can make Shimmer Wood planks or Shimmer Rock. And yeah, it's actually quite an awesome building block. If I was in any other mod pack, I would actually probably build with it, especially the Bifrost glass. So yeah, that's that. I have the fabulous mana pools. Let's go grab some infinity and get to our crafting table. Alright, here we are at the crafting core from Extended Crafting, and unlike the crafting injectors from Draconic, I can't actually place an entire stack of stuff in here at once. It has to be one at a time. Luckily, there is no particular order that things have to go in, so it requires 2 creative essence and then 4 of everything else. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm really glad that no particular order is necessary for this. And last is the infinity. There we go. I have an infinite mana pool, and you can see that that was instantaneous, just like pretty much anything else. And of course I don't have a slot to pick it up. But boom, the Everlasting Guilty Pool. So it's just a creative mana pool, infinite mana. It's amazing if I was actually doing more Botania stuff, but I am completely done with Botania stuff now, other than killing some Gaia Guardians every now and then for Gaia Spirits. But I am going to make 8 of the Everlasting Guilty Pools and go add them to the pile. And here we go, 8 of the Everlasting Guilty Pools. Now, looking at the recipe again, I'm going to have to reset up all of my Ember stuff because I need to make this creative Ember source. And I also, there's something, and this, here we go, Beltane Brazier. So, yeah, I don't have any of my stuff set up right now to actually, yeah, craft anything from embers. So I need to set that up. That's going to probably take a little while. And another thing, looking at the recipe, is this creative generator. When I made it before, you'll see that this recipe doesn't really look all that difficult because these advanced PCBs, whatever, those are easy enough to create. The hard part is, here we are, these ultimate induction providers for mechanisms. So these induction providers require elite induction, advanced, basic, and the same thing with the advanced energy cubes. The advanced energy cubes require basic. It's a process, and last time I had to create the infinite generator over here, it took way too long. And I want to, what time is it right now? 9:47 p.m. So I have a lot of work to do setting up embers. I still need to go into Erebus to get soul gems. So I'm going to get cracking on that. Yeah, and let's hope that I can get this episode out before tonight. Alright, I have everything necessary here in order to make the creative embers source. These crystal clusters, I only made 20 of them because, holy wow, it was just too much time. So in between episodes, I am going to make enough to actually make 8 of these. But for now, I at least have enough to make 1. Well, I have enough to make 2. Regardless, I have the creative everlasting ember. So let's go. Come on, let's go drop this over here. Oh, awesome. I also went through, I went to the to Erebus managed to kill 8 of the antlion queens, and wow, that wasn't fun at all. And it turns out I had a spare soul crystal in my ME system anyway, so I only had to kill 7 of them. But yeah, I have 8 of these soul crystals. Boom. And the next thing I've been dreading having to work on it, but I have to make this creative generator. Alright, I'm setting up to create 6 more of the neutronium solar panels. I just made 2 of them. Unfortunately, I didn't have enough resources in order to make the chaotic solar panel. So yeah, I need a little bit more draconic solar panels, a little bit more awakened cores, in order to make the necessary neutronium solar panels. But I actually think I'm going to have to call this an episode. In between episodes, I'm just going to farm, and grind. Try to make more creative ember sources, the Beltane braziers, which throughout this series, I have been throwing away the liver of sulfur because I didn't think that they were important. Turns out they're important. Save them. So yeah, the Beltane braziers, I had to go mining in the Twilight Forest just to get more liver of sulfurs, and then I had to figure out the recipe in order to do that because it is a strange Embers alchemy recipe. But next episode, we're going to go over each of these special ingots necessary in order to do this. The Aristotleite, the Syitonite, the Verhuntian, and the Cazadorian metal, which require special stuff of their own in quantum compressors. So yeah, that's just a whole nother grind fest I gotta get through, as well as we're gonna get into osmium crystals and mechanism. But I am Kelly Engineering, and I hope that you enjoyed the episode, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.